All right, this week I am talking about not my bursitis and gout in my elbow, which is somewhat painful, but on the mend. We're talking about the battery tray apron and rear apron available from the guys at Dynacorn through Autocrafters. Now, we got these in and they're pretty spiffy looking. I like them. And after the break, we're going to go into a little bit more detail about why I wanted to get these instead of doing the Mustang like we had talked about before. So, after the break.
Restoration of a classic Ford is a journey of discovery. Let Autocrafters help you with yours. We offer quality parts for Falcon, Fairlane, F-Series, Galaxy, Maverick, and Pinto. Contact us today.
All right, today we're talking about the battery apron and the rear apron for the passenger side of a 1964-65 Falcon. More importantly, I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks on what we're doing in order to put that in the car with our brand new radiator core support that we have on here right now. Now, the battery apron that we got in is a beautiful piece. It's as nice to me as the radiator core support. All the factory foibles are there, the things that would happen whenever you're trying to bend that much sheet metal into that kind of shape and have a bunch of different reliefs and stuff in the top of it. It is a nice looking piece though. Unfortunately, at this point in the game, you still cannot get these three pieces as separate items. You can't just get the battery apron, you have to get the rear apron and the piece that mounts to the top back of the battery apron, which is on the ground right here in front of me. So, am I willing to pay $160-ish, depending on what it is right now? With the pandemic on, we don't really know what's going to happen as far as pricing is concerned on some of these products. It's just the way things are going. Metal's going up and everything else, so pricing may change. So don't look at the pricing so much as the fact that this piece is now available. And yes, at this stage in the game, I would happily buy a whole section like this that's about 160 bucks as opposed to trying to go out and buy the entire frame section, which was what was initially available from Dynacorn. I will probably put that piece in the back in a pile somewhere and maybe use it on something later for whatever I need. The other small piece, the same thing. I'll use it as a repair piece for something else because this is what I have with a Mustang battery tray apron. They're both sitting at about the same level. You can see that a Mustang battery apron is much shorter than the Falcon battery apron, and you're going to have to do quite a lot to get this to work with this because there is a lot of difference between the two. I'm going to move this one here. Try not to knock that one over. So you can kind of get an idea what I'm talking about as the differences between the two panels. It was a little hard to show this inside the car, but when you look at this piece here, there's just a lot, there's a lot different about it. It's not the same piece at all. There are similarities, but not enough in my opinion to justify me spending hours and hours working on this piece to get it to work into a shape that is something similar to this so that we can put it in Logan's 65 Ranchero. So I'm going to set this aside now. It'll probably fall over and make tons of racket. I'm going to talk about what you want to think about with that because it's about time frame. It's about how long it takes to do something. I can go in and cut the spot welds out of this in an afternoon and mount the battery tray apron in place probably within a couple of days with hard fitting. And I'm going to go into what I mean by that in just a second, showing you some of the things on the inside that we've already marked up on this car. This makes life a lot easier. Just simply put, it's just much easier to put this in than it would be to go in and try to cobble that piece that I set to the side into the car. So I'm going to go now and talk about what we're doing to make sure that we don't have any movement whenever we're putting everything together. We've kind of gone over this a while back, but I want to hit it fresh because some people are coming in and just finding this thing on the battery apron and not having seen the rest of the videos in the series. So here we go. All right, so what I'm going to talk about now is what we've got going on with how we're laying this thing out. You'll notice that I've got a purple yardstick in here. I have marked the shock tower and the yardstick for position to make sure that our shock tower doesn't collapse. Now the reason for doing that is just a safety measure to make my mind a little more comfortable. Because what we've done is we've actually gone in and put jack stands in the very back on the torque boxes. We put a set of jack stands on the frame rails like I'm showing you here. And we also have a set of screw jacks that are on the very front. And I like these screw jacks, which are basically trailer jacks for when you're going out camping These are really nice because you're not going to bear a ton of weight if you're running them all the way through the car, but they are really good for holding the car up in the air when you're wanting to go in and make minute adjustments to get everything to line up just so. You can use these all the way through the car and just crib them up like I'm showing you right now. Also, we have the flat tire on the back. Probably going to need to replace that tire. Just saying, because it's bad. But out beyond that, now what I'm going to talk about real quickly before we close this thing out is the fact that you have to remember that you have a brace that goes on this side of the shock tower that holds the bumper for the upper control arm. That brace has to have a specific size hole, and that's these 3 holes right here. As we are dealing with the shock tower, that's going to be what we want to make sure we line up, because we want to make that right on the upper part of this apron and also on the shock tower itself. There are also 3 holes across the frame rail on the bottom over by the bumper. Those will also need to be lined up and make sure that they are in the right spot. It does make this a much more ticklish operation for this lining up with the radiator core support, but it can be done. This will be a true test of whether the Dynacorn piece is a good one. Now, we're not going to get to that this week because, like I said, I got a busted wing and I can't do anything. Logan will go in off camera and cut the battery tray out, and then we will go in after that and unfortunately use our generator to power our MIG welder so that we can start welding the battery tray in after we show you how to set everything up and get both of these lined in the way they're supposed to be lined in. All right, so that's our show for this week. While I am injured, I am not going to be doing a whole lot of work. We're going to be doing a lot of this off camera because we've already shown you how to cut spot welds. You already know how to do that. What I really want to go into in the next episode is exactly how we set this up and make sure that everything lines in correctly with our radiator core support that we got from the guys at Autocrafters. Do me a favor, go out and check out our Patreon account. At the $10 a month level, you get monthly meetings with me on Zoom with other people. It's a lot of fun. We do tech Q&A. We talk about things that we want to do with the channels and all that, and we ask for your input, and I think that's really key. One of the biggest pluses probably right now of the Patreon account, but we are going to be adding things to the Patreon account. One of those things that we've recently added is the tech videos that Andrew and I do for our patrons. These are specifically for the guys on Patreon so that they get a little additional thing from us each month as a thank you for being a monetary supporter of the channel. Also, subscribe to the channel. We need you subscribers out there because, quite frankly, the YouTube algorithms have changed. I'm not going to go into all that right now, but just understand that it would be good for you to subscribe. Click the bell for notification, because if you don't click that bell, you're never going to find anything out about what we do, because we're just going to be lost in the ether webs of the world and you'll never find us. Finally, also, do me a favor, love on each other, be kind to each other, be good to each other. Have a great week, and we'll see you on down the road. So I'm going to go grab my real rubber mallet, which is conveniently right here, and I'm going to go whack-a-mole our radiator core support off. This one is not the one that is a poser rubber mallet. It is an actual rubber mallet because it's soft. It has some give to it. The other rubber mallet I had went nasty on me and turned into a mallet, almost like a leather mallet. I'm going on and on. You just want to see me knock this stuff off.